Okay, so this is the fifth video, section 4, and it is about work experience. So if you're putting your CV together for the first time, then you're probably between the ages of 16 to 19, that sort of range. And it might be that you're thinking, I haven't really got any work experience. I know when I was at school, it was quite normal to have a Saturday morning job, which I loved. I think it's the best job I've ever had, working in a pharmacist on a Saturday morning, stocking the shelves. I adored it. I earned £5.28 for my 4 hours. And I never worked harder, and I absolutely loved it. But I know that it's much more unusual for a whole range of reasons, that young people don't always have Saturday jobs. I think it's really important, actually. So if you're young and thinking about whether you should balance out your social time with earning some money, I know parents pay for mobile phones and insurance on vehicles and that sort of thing, but please don't underestimate the importance of getting some work experience. It shows that you get up when an alarm goes off and you get yourself up and dressed and out, and you are on time and you are committed and you understand what a modern workplace looks like, and you're loyal, we hope, and reliable and all those things, and they are amazing skills to have. So if you're thinking about whether you should be getting a little bit of paid work and you can't get it, or your parents are against it, maybe there's some unpaid work you can do, some local community work, helping out a family member. If you're lucky enough to be within a family where somebody's self-employed and has the ability to pass on a little bit of work experience to you. So this is where you've got the opportunity to expand on work experience. So it might be that you've done something like a paper round. I know they're fewer these days. People are reading material online rather than in paper format. Sunday newspapers are still delivered, so that you might have a paper round. You might have this unpaid work. So anything that is relevant to the workplace, even if you're not being paid for it, I would be putting it in here. So it might be that you work out a local youth club. I've mentioned that sort of example before, a bit narrow-minded, but you might be doing some work in the community where you're expected to pitch up at a particular time on a particular day, and put it as work experience, but mark it as volunteer, because that's what it is. It's volunteer work. What we're looking for in this section is all the things I've already outlined, these personal attributes. So it matters not whether you were paid or you did it for free. In fact, if you did it for free, good for you. Don't think, why would I do this for nothing? It's really, really valuable. And people who thrive when they leave education often have had some kind of practical experience in a work environment. So it might be that you do a bit of bookkeeping for the family business, only be a couple of hours a week. Or, as I say, volunteer work in your local community. Might be you help at the local football club, helping young people, any work you do for the disadvantaged. Easy to put these in hobbies and interests, and they have a place there. But if you're lacking work experience, you could move them into this section so that you are showing the commitment that you have and the timescales. So what we want in the work experience section is dates, the organisation that you've been working for, and a job title. And you might say, well, I don't really have a job title, but your job title could be volunteer. If they haven't given you a job title and you're working in the community, it would be volunteer. So on the left-hand side of this section, underneath where you've put work experience, put the dates. So if you're currently helping out or working, then you would put the date that you started. A month and a year is sufficient. We don't need to know the exact date. A dash, and then you'd put present or to date, so that we know that you're still in that particular post. Then tabulate across, put the organisation, and then directly under the organisation, so it's neat and tidy, put your title, whether that be volunteer or Paperboy, or whatever it might be, then give yourself a space and use bullet points to explain the responsibilities that you have in that role. So think about these, because these are telling us what you're doing day to day, and we need to draw a picture of what your responsibilities are, okay? Sometimes I interview people and I say, oh, so you did this, this and this, so presumably you did that. And they say, oh, yes, I did. I didn't put it on my CV. Why not? You need your CV to reflect you as fully as possible, and you're not going to have much to put on it if this is your first CV ever. So use the space that you've got to sell yourself by demonstrating the skills that you've got, the commitment that you have to your community or your employer. This is quite a hard part for you if you haven't had work experience before. And if you're really struggling because you can't think of anything relevant, you have a job to do, and that's to go and find something which keeps you occupied until you find full-time employment, so that you can fill this gap. That's my opinion. Mums and dads might be rolling their eyes and saying, I'd much rather you focused on your education, please. And they have a point. I don't want to override any decisions that are being made within the home, but don't underestimate the power of having some sort of relevant work experience, whether it be for a 2-week work placement where you didn't get paid, or you did get paid, better still, where you helped out during a busy period in a family business or a friend's business, where you did a bit of community work. All these things are really, really relevant. And if you're at university and you're not using your summers to go and earn some money and get some experience, that is a massive opportunity being lost, because that you will be within a peer group where others are. And if there's a fight for a particular position that you're applying for when you finished your education, and someone can show that they've been out and got some relevant work experience, and you spent your summers on a beach, who do you think they're going to pick? So it's really, really important. And if you've got parents fighting that, talking about your education being first, I'm not going to undermine that, but it might be a discussion that you need to have, because any work experience that you're getting doesn't have to interfere with your studies at all. We're not talking about you going out and working a 37.5-hour week here. It might be an evening, it might be a Saturday, even if it's a job in your local pub to help out on a busy Sunday shift. It gets you into the process of learning what it is to be a reliable member of a team. And that's what potential employers want to see. Okay, so we've done that bit then. So the last remaining part is the profile, and doesn't matter who you are, the profile's the hardest, which is why we've done all the other bits. I'm going to get you to write a really short profile, and that should only be done really at this point where you've completed the rest of the bones. I'm going to do one more video after that, and that's going to be the tidy up. You're probably keeping things quite neat and tidy as you go, but I always feel at the end of completing your CV, there are a number of processes you should go through before you start sending it out.